One of the engines in Edward's shed was called Alec Greedy. He was painted bright red with a loud mouth to match. He never seemed to take much notice of Edward. Everyone took notice of Alec Greedy. They had to, for he simply wouldn't stop boasting about himself.
Look at you all, painted in drab greens and mournful blues. Lucky I'm here to bring some vibrance to this shed.
Edward chuckled quietly. The others groaned deafeningly. One day, Alec Greedy felt very pleased with himself. He kept the time, and the passengers told him how splendid he looked. He arrived at the sheds and found Gordon being ready for his afternoon train.
You watch me this afternoon, little Edward, when I rush through with the express.
Off to fail spectacularly with another goods train, are you? Alan guffawed. Dear me, Gordon. How can an engine like you struggle with a few measly trucks? I hope little Edward is at the ready. Otherwise you will be in trouble.
Edward gave a pitying look, and Gordon grunted and hissed away. There's no need to tease him, said Edward. Oh, hush, Alec glared. You come out of the shed for a few days and suddenly think you can tell me what to do? I'm the lifeblood of the branch line passenger trains, and don't you forget it. With my grace and expertise, I'll have the express end. Oh, interrupted Edward. Is that why the coaches needed their coupling hooks mended when I went to fetch them this morning? Because of your, grace and expertise? Alec Greedy scowled, hid himself in a cloud of steam, and pretended to be asleep. Next morning, Alec Greedy clunked into the station. Still cross over Edward's remark. Be gentle, cried the coaches. Come quietly, snorted Alec. Silly little engine. I'll show him grace and expertise. Alec Greedy would show Edward something, just not what he hoped for. Along the branch line is a church with an orchard. The apple trees were carefully looked after to make sure that their branches didn't obstruct the line. That morning, some of the church boys decided to climb the branches. They thought they'd steal some apples while the vicar was preparing his Sunday sermon. Careful, John, said one. That branch doesn't look very sturdy. Oh, it's sturdy enough. Just you be ready to catch the apples. Soon Alec Greedy came snorting along. He was still thinking what he would say to Edward when they next met. Come along, he puffed. The boys saw him approaching. Startled, they scrambled down. The branch John stood on could not bear his weight anymore, and snapped. Come along, come along, snarled Aled. Come up. Ooh! Hearing the thud, the driver stopped the train. When he and the fireman ran around front, they laughed until they cried. That's one way for us to get some peace and quiet, eh? Cackled the fireman. Apples were stuck in Aled Greedy's teeth. Both they and the branch muffled his cries of indignation. Serves him right, smirked the driver. All that boasting gave me a terrible headache. All day, Aled Greedy traveled up and down the line, the apples in the branch staying firmly in place. The passengers didn't think he was splendid now. They erupted with laughter as he passed by. Aled's face turned as red as his paintwork. Unlike the passengers, the vicar wasn't laughing when Aled next passed the orchard. Give me back my apples, you thieving ensign! Aled tried to apologize, but all that came out was muffled gibberish. Sir Topham Hatt wasn't laughing either when he visited the sheds that night. The accident was not your fault, he said. I have spoken to the vicar about keeping his church boys in line. However, I do not approve of the ruckus you have been causing. You will stay as you are. Perhaps a night of quiet reflection will set you straight. He spun on his heel and turned away. The other engine snickered. I say, little Edward, winked Gordon. How does the saying go? An apple a day keeps the director away. Edward chuckled. It seemed several bushels couldn't keep him from Aled. Aled Greedy had certainly gained expertise about apples, but felt far from graceful.